Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone Ba'Shem Rakah Chodash. My name is Yakaba from Plain Tables Camp, Philly. And this lesson is called Holy Matrimonium, marriage. I was looking into some things about, if men are getting married or not getting married. And then it led me to do this lesson just to show how different, marriage in our culture, which were Hebrew Israelites, we're Shemitic people, how different it is from Western culture, because we're not Western. We come from the so-called Middle East. We come from the East, and our culture is different from, Esau's culture, Edom's culture, which he adapted. All right. Now, marriage in ancient Rome, have his Wikipedia page up here. It says marriage in ancient Rome was strictly monogamous. See, this is not our culture as Hebrew Israelites. I know, women don't want to hear that. The westernized women, they don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. This monogamy, I started with the Greeks and the Romans. All right. Well, or at least the adaptation in, America and Britain comes from the ancient Greeks and Romans. It says we're strictly monogamous. All right. It says individual has only one partner. All right. Institution: a Roman citizen by law could have only one spouse at a time. See, the current system that we have here in the West is based off of Greco-Roman culture. Whether I'm going on marriage right now, but the whole system we have set up here is based off of ancient Greco-Roman laws and ways of thinking. All right. It's the practice of monogamy distinguished the Greeks and Romans from other civilizations in which elite males typically had multiple wives. All right. I mean, if you could, afford, the wives, all right, because the father wasn't going to give him away. Like, you already have a wife, and the father wouldn't. It would be kind of ridiculous for the father to give her away, and you couldn't take care of her. All right. But then, the father also wanted to, make money also. But, Israelite, men, we care about our daughters. So we would want, our daughters to be in a safe situation. All right. It says, Greco-Roman monogamy may have arisen from the egalitarianism of democratic and republic political systems of the city-states. All right. This egalitarianism means everybody's equal. That's not something that's in our culture. All right. You could even pull feminism out of there. All right. Egalitarianism is not in our culture. All right. We have different ranks, different orders. Men and women are different. There's two sexes or two genders, however you labeling it. Yahweh or Yahweh Shai did not create monogamous relationships to be the forefront of our identity. All right. All right. Elite males typically have multiple wives. All right. I'm just reading this paragraph. It is one aspect of ancient Roman culture in which America, Britain, what these Western countries are based off of, that was embraced by early Christianity. So now you get it, which in turn perpetuated it as an ideal in later Western culture. I don't need to read anymore. All right. It is one aspect of ancient Roman culture, and this is the aspect I'm teaching in this lesson. All right, marriage. It is one aspect in ancient Roman culture that was embraced by early Christianity, which in turn perpetuated it as an ideal in later Western culture. This is why women and men, mainly women, want to get married and put rings on. They wouldn't be united in holy matrimony. All right, which means mother. All right, as you see down here, I'm gonna pull the etymology up. All right, that's not in our culture. Our union, all right, is not based off. The root of it doesn't go back to mother. All right, in the Roman culture, the ancient Roman culture goes back to mother. Our root does not go back to mother. We don't worship women in the Hebrew Israelite culture. All right. So if you're wondering why, brothers in the faith are not on board with getting married, it's not within our culture to get married in the Western fashion. All right. And it's biblical. And it's historical. All right. All right, so we're going to go on to matrimony, or it goes back to matrimonium, which that word started being used circa 1300. All right. Before then, they used a different word. Right here. They use conubunum. Let's get that pronunciation. Hopefully it's there. No, they don't have it. Well, you see the word. All right, this is what they matrimony is a more modern word, which goes back to mother. All right, so this is the word conubunum, conubunum. All right, however you pronounce it. All right. Now, like I said it before, it goes back to mother, matar, mother, matrimonium, and this is not a Hebrew Israelite culture. All right, this is a Greco-Roman culture. All right, now I looked up the origins of the wedding ring and origins of marriage. All right, and basically what this is saying that it's not religious. It's more so has to do with building a family to make the family stronger. Because the word family goes back to familia, which means a household of slaves. I did previous videos on that. All right. So the purpose of of marriage is to be fruitful and multiply. All right. And to have sexual comfort, and to multiply, and to enjoy each other. That's what marriage is used for. All right. Then we got the wedding ring, the original symbolism of the wedding ring. All right, is a wedding ring symbolized many things in different cultures that have used them throughout the history of man. Initially, traditions indicated that the man placed a ring on the finger of a woman simply as proof that he possessed her. The ring was placed on the left hand, considered the weaker side of the body. All right, indicated submission. Which this is not in the Hebrew Israelite culture. So no Israelite should be putting wedding rings for this purpose. Now you can wear rings, but specifically for the cohabitation or the union of marriage is not within our culture. All right. Egyptians even attached significance to the circle within the ring, using it to symbolize the unknown. Truly, no no newly married couple knows with certainty what the future will hold. All right. So it goes back to Egypt, the ring, the rings for marriage. All right, and our women and a lot of our men are caught up in this, being marriage minded, dating with a purpose. You might hear that. All right, a wedding ring or a wedding band is the earliest examples, and this is the point of me doing this lesson. The way in which marriage and everything that goes along with marriage is based on Greco-Roman Egyptian culture, which is foreign to us. We're Israelites. We have a different culture than the ancient Greeks, the ancient Romans, and ancient Egyptians. All right. So the earliest examples of wedding rings are from ancient Egypt. All right, check that out. The earliest examples of wedding rings are from ancient Egypt. Western customs for wedding rings can be traced to ancient Rome and Greece and were transmitted to the present through Christendom in Europe, which Constantine had a lot to do with that. All right, and developing the certain aspects of the church. All right, so the ancient Christians in Europe adopted Greco-Roman and Egyptian customs. All right. That's all I need to read. It's you got the point. I'll read some more. It is commonly believed that the first examples of wedding rings were found in ancient Egypt. Relics dating 6,000 years ago, including papyrus scrolls, are evident of the exchange of braided rings of hemp and reeds between spouses. Ancient Egypt considered the circle to be a symbol of eternity, and the ring served to signify the perpetual love of the spouse. All right, and that's exactly what these men and women think in America and Britain and these different Western countries. When you put that ring on, you believe that you're going to be with that person for better or for worse, and that your love is going to last forever. Perpetual love of the spouses. All right. So this modern day marriage that we, these certain people partake in, goes directly back to ancient Greece, ancient Rome, and back to ancient Egypt. All right. Now, like this article said here, I didn't read. It says, but their widespread superstition means that believers today should not wear wedding rings in the light of the intended meaning of Deuteronomy 12 and 29. All right. How can we properly discern what the power would forbid today? Because we're prophets. That's how we can determine. You're breaking the law by doing as to the customs of the heathen. So we're going to get that scripture. Did I bring it up? I don't think I brought it up. Or I might have brought it up. Yes, I did. Yep. Deuteronomy 12 and 29. When Yahweh thy power shall cut off the nations from before thee, whether thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them and dwellest in their land, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. Okay, we ain't supposed to take after those different laws and customs. The wedding ring. All right, now you can wear rings, but specifically to unite your spouse, that's directly a custom of the Egyptians. All right, now you can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you. I'm showing you the evidence. All right. After that, they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so, I do likewise. Now you can wear rings if you want. If you want to give your woman a ring, give her a ring. It don't mean you breaking this law. All right, just you ain't supposed to be engaged in these different ceremonies and putting power within different in jewelry. All right. All right. Thou shalt not do so unto Yahweh thy God. For every abomination to Yahweh, which he hateth, even they, that's like have they done unto their gods. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fires of their gods. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. All right, so definitely be aware of these customs. All right, they go back to ancient Egypt, they go back to Greece, and they go back to ancient Rome. All right. So if you get married today, within the same fashion, you trading the rings, you saying you giving your undying love, for each other, which is nothing wrong with giving saying that you love your partner, but it's in direct proportion to the ancient the Christendom, all right, and that has pagan roots, all right, such as Christmas, Easter, all right, that goes back to the has pagan roots, all right. Marriage, and how do we, conduct ourselves in marriage, all right. As Hebrew Israelites, one of the first scriptures I thought of was 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. All right, and there's a lot here, but I'm gonna start at 28. It says, "But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned, and if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you." All right, and the point here was look up marriage. Gamel, which means lead in marriage, to take a wife, to get married, to marry, to give oneself, to give oneself in marriage, to give a daughter in marriage. Yeah, because the father has power over the daughter, all right, and over the son, to give their children away in marriage, or their sons and their daughters away in marriage. All right. What do I have here? All right, Genesis 24 and 67. I'll start from 24 first. And back then, women were shamefaced, and they, presented themselves well. Not like today where everything's revealed, with the skirts, short skirts, the uncovered heads, the makeup, the fake eyelashes, and the raptor claws, fingernails. They're revealed. Everything about them is exposed. All right. But Rebecca, was shamefaced. This is Genesis 24 and 65. For she had, let me look at 24. And Rebecca lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, What man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, It is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. Now that's how respectful and honorable Rebecca was. She got off the camel. One reason could have been because, she was, at a higher, position, She didn't want to be looking down to him. She'd rather, look up. That's just, one possible thing why she got off. But it says here because she went to inquire. All right. It says, For she had said to her servant, What man is this that walketh in a field to meet us? Yeah, she had an idea, but she wanted to be sure. All right. And the servant, because she was being transported there for a reason, to be given away in marriage. All right. And the servant said, "It is my master." Therefore, she took the veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So that's the purpose of, you building a family, reproduce, get sexual pleasure and get, emotional pleasure, because it says he was comforted. All right. I'm looking for the word took. All right, we got lakach. It means to take, to carry. All right, to take a wife, to snatch away, to carry off, to seize, to capture. All right, to remove, stolen, captive, to take away. All right. So that's how Rebekah became Isaac's wife. Now they went into the tent and he had sex with her. It says he took her. And he was comforted after his mother's death. All right. Now I have some more words here. It says Ezekiel 21, it's like Exodus 21 and 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall not diminish. All right, we got Iwana. Duty of marriage, meaning you take, certain, she gets a certain amount of food, certain amount of money for daily task, roof over her head, clothes, duty of marriage, whatever situation you in. Back then, we had, houses and land, and today's a little different. You got to rearrange things in a certain way based upon your resources, all right, and your capability. All right. Duty of marriage goes back to, it says, a cohabitation, conjugal rights. All right. Sexual cohabitation, duty of marriage. All right. Yeah, the woman's going to do the shopping or whatever, or cooking, cleaning, and transporting your sons and daughters to different places. You provide what you can provide to take care of that. All right. So again, this is our marriage. This is how we as Hebrew Israelites would marry. All right. This is the right way, not the Egyptian Greco-Roman way, the egalitarianism. All right. And that was cohabitation was conjugal, which was duty of marriage. All right, which I explained, and obviously sex. We got Baal, which means Lord, to rule over, possess, own, marry, to be Lord over, husband, which is a planter of seeds, I believe. All right, planter of seeds. To rule over, to be married. So marriage is the man ruling over the woman and giving her children. All right, because of the current distress, many of us are reluctant to do that, to give her children, but we do give her sexual pleasure and emotional comfort. And the comforts of cohabitation, or the duty of marriage, depending on your situation. All right. This is 1 Peter 3 and 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. All right. So if you call yourself a Israelite woman in the faith, you shouldn't be outspoken. You are under the lordship of your husband. And if you don't have a husband, you better get a husband. All right. As long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. All right. You can't be afraid. All right. And as Hebrew Israelites, we honor the wife. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Exactly, because if I'm of the elect, it's very possible that your woman. The scriptures say that we're going to be delivered together, the man and the woman. All right, the husband and the wife are going to be delivered together. All right, now we hope, all right, that we're delivered together. It's Yahweh Shah's will. All right. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor to the wife. All right. There was a point here. I was going to bring this out. Isaiah 32:9 says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech." All right. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. So, who are these women going to be depending on when the vintage fails and the gathering shall not come? What does vintage mean anyway? Wine. Vintage. Great crops. Okay, crops. Inaccessibly high. Your benefits. All right. Rise up, ye women that are at ease, Isaiah 32:9. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. So who are these women going to be dependent on? Asap. Gathering, collection, harvest. All right, so however these women are making their money and getting their resources, it's going to fail. And you may be in good case, or you may think yourself to be in good case when the RFID chip is implemented. All right, and they promise you different, benefits. All right, and again, if you're in a faith, that's not even I'm focusing on women in the faith. That's not even a option. You're going to stick with your husband, and if you don't have a husband, you better get a husband. Gathering, collection, harvest. So that's going to fail. However these women are making their money is going to fail. It's going to fail them. All right, tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. All right, tremble. Be troubled. We karad, tremble, quake. Yeah, when you starving and fasting, your blood sugar drop. All right, yeah, you're going to be drive with terror. You're going to be trembling. Or gaza, tremble, quake, be agitated.
Perturb.
Anxious, unsettled in the spirit, unsettled in the flesh. All right. This is Isaiah 4:1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right. And I had a vision a very long time ago. that I was, sitting in the back seat of a car, and these women, they look like melanated women, were begging me to teach them the commandments. And I looked at them like they were like, I was astonished about why are they even speaking to me. I was like baffled about why they were speaking to me. It said, teach us the commandments, please. Teach us the commandments. Teach us the commandments. All right. And then the driver, I don't know who it was, but he was a cold dude. He just smashed on the accelerator, and they were hanging out the window, wailing. Just, wailing, and then the vision ended. All right. So those are women that obviously didn't have a husband and were begging me at the last moment, as it appeared, to teach them the commandments. This is why it's in, our best interest to get this word while it's available. Get the understanding while you have the ability to comprehend before the evil day comes. All right, and you scramble trying to figure out what you're gonna eat for food and shelter. All right, so how are we gonna take away there? Well, what is reproach? What is reproach? Basically, shame and disgrace, having a bad name, taunt, the belief that something is worthless. So apparently those I believe it was two women that were hanging out the window as this cold ass driver was smashed on the gas. And I'm still looking at him with amazement, like what the? Why are you even talking to me? Now, in hindsight, I felt kind of bad, but at the time I was like, the vision was like, I had a cold spirit on me because I was astonished about why they even speaking to me. Now in hindsight, I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. But I'm in the flesh, so reproach, scorn, taunt, resting upon the condition of shame and disgrace. All right, and that's how these women are going to become honorable. How they're going to become clean, by being with Israelite man in the faith. All right. And that's how you're going to be delivered. Isaiah 4:2. In that day shall the branch of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. All right. And we look up escaped. You have we got Paul Yatah, which means deliverance, action of being rescued or set free. Escape, deliverance, escape, remnant. All right, so if you want to get delivered, you're going to have to be with the Israelite man. It's going to take away your reproach. And he's going to be with more than one woman. All right, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. We got Shabai and Achad. All right, Ba'ayash, which means that's man right there. Yeah, Ayash. All right. So that's the order. So it's not the ancient Greco-Roman way, the monogamous institution. That's not within our culture to solely be monogamous. All right. And we definitely are elite. All right. So that's the end of the lesson. I made my point. I covered a few areas. That's my lesson. Holy Matrimonium. All right. Which is in this fashion is not holy in the sense of being righteous. So I hope you edified. Until the next lesson. Shalom.